Thank you so much for joining us today. If you checked out the videos from today in the sneak peek, you've seen the three of us go live. Brittany couldn't join us this evening, but that's okay. I received a few questions, and I know Kira received a few questions as well. So I think what we'll do is I will answer a question. She can answer a question. We'll go back and forth. And then Jolene, if you have any questions for either of us, you can pop in at any time and we will answer them for you. And for anybody that's watching the recording, thank you for joining us and taking the time to listen to what we have to say about the coaching opportunity and how it's changed our lives. So one of the first questions that I got, and it's one that a lot of people want to know, is how the heck do you actually get started as a coach? And there's a few different options. There is a coach fee that you can pay, and it's $39 American and $50 Canadian. And you can just pay that and be on your way. Or you can join us with a challenge pack that starts at $186 Canadian, $160 American, and that waives your coach fee, gives you access to our Netflix of fitness for a whole 12 months, also gives you a 30-day supply of our superfoods or a 30-day supply of our Recover and Energize. So that's one of the other options that you have. There are multiple packs depending on which program you want to get started with, but those are our basic options to get started and start earning income in this business. Your turn.
Okay, so one of the questions I got was, how do we coach? What platforms do we use? And kind of like our day-to-day of what that looks like. So everyone is so different. Rachel and I are very different. She focuses her business through Facebook more than, I would say, Instagram. And then I focus my business completely 100% through Instagram. So basically, like when you sign up as a coach, there are different trainings that you will get signed up with. And we'll, as your coach, have you go through those trainings. And then we'll sit down and we'll talk about what your goals are, what are your, what kind of people are you wanting to reach? Who are you wanting to help? All of that stuff. And then we kind of get into the nitty gritty, which we don't need to do right now, in regards to how we're going to find coaches to start to build your business and start to make an income. Back to you, Rachel.
That's a great segue into my next question, because it was, how the hell do we earn money? Like, most people see us posting online and all we're doing is doing our workout and posting a sweaty selfie and checking in with our groups, and nobody really knows the logistics behind how we actually earn income. So basically, we earn an income on selling our subscriptions to Beachbody On Demand, challenge pack sales. Once you start to build a team underneath you, if you choose to go that route, you get to earn team cycle bonuses. You get to earn bonuses once you hit certain ranks. We earn our free vacations. We earn prizes every single month for, if you help 3 people every single month, we earn like t-shirts and puzzles and board games and backpacks and like hats. I have so many prizes that I've won just because we help people and we show up every single day. So that's how we earn money, and it's based on commission. And you also get a 25% discount off of all of your products and sales. So we earn a 25% commission on every single product that we sell, whether it be t-shirts or resistance bands or the container systems or the challenge packs and all of the other products that we have. Your turn.
Awesome. So I did have someone reach out to me and inquire more about like me being celiac and not being able to have gluten in my diet. So I just wanted to kind of touch base a little bit more about the products and like what we have available to us. So there are so many products. The main kind of products that people use are our Shakeology, which is our shakes. You can have them with whey, or you can have them vegan. They aren't necessarily classified as gluten-free because they're made in a facility that does contain gluten and could cause contamination. However, they don't physically contain gluten themselves, which is really positive. And I find if I'm having a really good stomach or gut day, then they don't bother me. But if I'm already having a really bad day, then that's when I may notice that like it is affecting me, even if it's not actually affecting me because I'm just having a bad day anyway. Our Energize is all plant-based, which is phenomenal, and it is something that I use 100% every day. It makes me feel human, and I know I talked about that in my live earlier, but I just can't talk it up enough. And with that comes, we have our post-workout or our recover. So there are two options. Rachel just informed me of this the other day. We do have a plant-based option and a non-plant-based option. So there's that as well. And then we have everything under the sun, from like greens powders to like items that help you with like bringing up energy or like focused energy. We have different forms of boosts, and you name it, I think we have it. Collagen, all that stuff.
Yes, our products, the amount of things that they're doing and coming up with is amazing. There are new products coming too. Sometimes what happens is they release a product in the States and then our FDA doesn't quite like it yet. And it takes about 18 months for them to approve it in Canada. So that you'll see things that are available in the States that aren't available here yet. They are coming. They're just not quite through our FDA yet, which is a good thing, and I guess in a way. One of the other questions that I had was, is there any sales or social media requirements to be a coach? And this is one that I had myself for a while, because I didn't post on social media. When I first started this business, I had, 600 friends on Facebook. Most of them were family or people that I had worked with or acquaintances that I've known. I didn't have Instagram at all. So I wasn't using Instagram at all. And I've since grown my network and have met so many amazing people because of this business. With that being said, the social media algorithms have changed a lot since the very beginning. When I first started coaching, we were posting 5, 6, 7 times a day because that's what the algorithm wanted. Now you can get away with posting once every 4 to 5 times a week. So you don't even have to post once a day anymore. So it's kind of alleviates that little bit of pressure there, that you don't have to physically show up on social media every single day. It allows us to have a life and not be stuck in our phone every single second of every single day. And the sales requirement. I know there are some companies out there that you need to have so much sales every single month or you forfeit your fee and you're basically done and you can't sell anything anymore. You can't help people anymore. We don't have that. There is a requirement to stay an active coach, and that is so much personal volume every single month. But if you're using the products yourself, such as your superfoods or your recover or your energize or your beach bars or your collagen or your power greens or whatever, that's not going to be an issue for anybody because you're already going to be using that product. One big thing I want to point out too is we are not required to keep inventory. That is a big one for a lot of companies, is you're required to buy this big massive kit of things, and then in order to regroup your money, you need to sell those said things from that kit. You physically don't have to keep anything in your possession or your house that you are not going to use yourself, unless you want to purchase some samples and that sort of thing to give away, but that's your discretion and you don't have to do that. So that's one of our big things that I like, because I don't have enough room to keep anything else in my house. I don't know about everybody else, but I sure as heck don't have that room for everything else.
That is such a highlight, to be honest with you. I was just talking to someone about that not that long ago.
Yeah.
I have another question if you're done talking about that one, Rachel. So I had someone ask about meal plans, because we always talk about our programs and how there are meal plans attached to it. So each program kind of has like their own meal plan, but we also have actual, I don't know what the word is, like meal programs, and they're both different. And I've actually tried both of them. So one of them is a containerized way. So instead of counting calories, you actually see your food in a container and it's all portion size, which is really positive and a really good way to look at your food. I know for myself, I'm one of those people who takes heaping scoops of things, and you look at these containers and I go, oh, this isn't enough food. But when you put it on your plate and then you can't finish it, it's really eye-opening to go, oh, okay, I am actually eating the proper amount of foods. And then we also have a To Be Mindset meal plan program. And that's more, in my opinion, is very intuitive eating and like knowing when to eat and what foods to focus on first and foremost, and ensuring that you have your waters. Because a lot of the time when we think we're hungry or we're mindlessly snacking, we're really just super dehydrated, and your body can get those two confused. So they're both very different, but they're both very beneficial. So in that aspect, if you're looking ever at like nutrition programs, definitely reach out to your coach or upline, whatever, and just inquire about what your goals are and where you want to focus for your nutrition, because there's so many different options. Even without getting those two, there's still so many other things that you can look at.
Yes, our nutrition programs are amazing. Like, you get a full nutrition course
and super interactive
in one. Like yeah, I have a nutrition background, and I still learned things from both of those courses when I went through all of the videos and the trainings and that sort of thing that we had on them. I still learned things from it,
which is great.
So yeah, absolutely. I didn't have any more questions. Did you have any more questions?
I don't either, no.
Okay. Jolene, do you have any, or Kristen? Of course you do. No.
I do. I apologize if it turns into interviewing you guys.
That's
what
okay.
I do for a living, so I'm a recruiter, so that's,
okay.
We're
ready.
I more have questions for, I already believe in the products. I already believe in Beachbody, so I don't have questions about what do you do to become a coach or why do you do it, because I totally get it. It's something I support, whether I ever coach or not. It's something that I will brag about and be happy about. But more so as a coach, like, how do you deal with rejection? If someone's starting out and tomorrow they're going, they wake up tomorrow at 6 a.m. and they're like, I want to do this, because obviously that's a big turnoff. If you're not a salesperson, if you're passive like you used to be,
It comes with personal development is a big one for me. Because I wasn't on social media a lot, and at first I used to take every one of those, no's or no thank you or whatever to heart. I used to take every single one of those personally, like every rejection or anything personally. And then I don't know when that light bulb switched, that I have a gift. Like, this is a physical gift that we get to share with people every single day. And if we don't share that with people, we're holding somebody's life potentially in our hands by not reaching out to them. And just because somebody's not necessarily ready at this time doesn't mean that they're not going to be ready. And it's just up to us to stay on our own path and share the crap out of that and out of our own journey so that we can inspire other people every single day. Do you have anything to add, Kira?
Yeah, that was very well said. Yeah, so it's definitely difficult. I can be super introverted. So when I first started coaching and reaching out to people and talking to people and getting those no's, I was really hurt, and I hated that feeling. And I was like, okay, so they're not saying no to me, they're saying no to the opportunity. And then I noticed that a lot of those people who say no were continually watching my stuff still. So I just kind of let that no be like, okay, this is a no for now, but it's not a no to me. It's a no to what I do, not me as a human, because they don't know who I am. A lot of them, yes, they're learning about me. They're meeting me in a sense in my stories, and they're following and all that stuff. But I just had to really focus on like, okay, it's not me they're saying no to, it's what I do that they're saying no to. That was the best thing like I could change around for myself.
Does that answer that question?
Yeah, absolutely. Follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do you feel that more people come to you now, or is it still a lot of reach out? Because with social media, you're posting a lot, people see it, but people could be just too shy to reach out, and sometimes you need that little push. Or do you find that it does happen more, people reach out?
I find it's about an 80-20. I have to physically reach out to people more than people reaching out to me. And the people that are reaching out to me are most likely people that have watched me over the last 3 years. That they haven't just started watching me yesterday. And a lot of the times with social media too, when the new algorithm is, most people don't see your posts.
Yeah.
Right? Like they don't come up in their newsfeed unless you're interacting with them behind the scenes or commenting on their things or whatever. So most of the time people don't see those anyway. So unless you send them a physical invite, they don't necessarily know that they can do it with you.
Right. Do you have a target?
I do, yes.
Okay. Like a target on who you reach out to, not a target, like a numbers target, but do you have that perfect person that you're like, they need us?
Yes. So that would be basically the person that I was 3 years ago when I started.
Right.
That didn't have the energy to make it through the day with the kids, that hated who she looked at in the mirror every single day, that had zero self-confidence, all of those things. That's the person that I want to help, because that's the person that I was. And I don't ever want anybody else to feel like that and feel like they're alone.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
And that's why when somebody says to me that there's too many coaches out there, or there's too many coaches in my area or whatnot, I had that same belief at the very beginning. That's why it took me 3 years to sign up. And the thing is, not everybody is for everybody. There are a lot of people out there that don't like me, and that's okay. Because those people are making way for the people that do like me and that do connect with me,
right,
in our groups.
Yeah, no one meshes with everybody.
Absolutely. And
you are still the only person I've heard of on PEI. And I know you're not, and I see it in groups, but like I work in an office of 100 and some people. It's Summerside small. I have never heard anyone else talk about it but you. So obviously you present yourself well and you get yourself out there, but I have never, I think that that's probably ridiculous that it's not out there as much. Now, I do interviews with men all over the country, and somehow we start talking about gyms and stuff just in conversation. It could be like, my girlfriend does Beachbody, and like they're in Alberta and BC and stuff. I never hear of it here, ever.
It's funny, right? And there is quite a few coaches in just Summerside alone.
I assume there are, but I just never, I don't know what it is. I mean, I keep Facebook pretty small. but I've never heard about it.
I find a lot of people who do coach don't always talk about it in person either. And that could just be like the stigma of like being an online coach, or people saying like, oh, well, you're not certified as a coach, so why are you coaching? So I find that there is that stigma out there that people just don't talk
Right.
about it. So I think Rachel's really good. She's just her own human, and she's like, this is me. Welcome.
Yeah.
And that's it. And one of the good things is what you see online is exactly the same person that you are going to meet when you meet me in person. I don't sugarcoat things, and I don't hide things, and I don't pretend to be somebody that I'm not, because that's not our job.
Exactly.
Right. And I mean, your background is in this too. But I guess for a lot of people it isn't. And you have no problem with saying, like, this is who I am. And I think that as a coach, that's probably how you should be. But I get being an introvert or stigma and pyramid schemes and people's thoughts on things like that.
So I'm going to share a story that happened at our Super Saturday, which is our quarterly event, the last one that we were actually physically allowed to go to. Okay. So because this has to do with introverts and how many of us coaches that are introverts. Okay. So she gets up at the podium, the MC, and she's like, okay, we're going to do this really cool icebreaker. And all of us are like, oh no. And she's like, okay, everybody's going to stand up and I'm going to play the music and you're going to dance. And we're like, okay, that's fine. And then she's like, and then when the music stops, you have to go talk to somebody that you did not come with, that you've never talked to before. And no word of lie, about 90% of the room, and there was probably about 500 coaches there, all of us kind of went, oh, I don't want to do that. But yet every single day, we post online and social media and we reach out to people and we help people every single day. But to physically talk to somebody in the face, totally out there.
Yeah, it is different. Like, I'm not shy at all when I do interviews, when I talk to you guys. I mean, I've met you, but I'm not shy. I am the shyest person in a room of 5 strangers. Like, we went to sales kickoff for work. They invite thousands of people. They fly us to Toronto. We do it all. And everyone's like, Jolene, I talk to you on Teams in video all the time. And I said like 2 words to them. They couldn't believe that total opposite. So I can definitely relate. I mean, I'm proud of you every day for putting yourself out there. But I can definitely see how that would be like. But I see how motivating it is too, that there's so much backup. There's so many people there, cheering you on. There's people there to support you if you don't have the answer, like, every day. But it is surprising, like, that I've never heard about it in Summerside. Like, the first time I did Beachbody, it's got to be 2 years ago. I think it was right after you started coaching, roughly, because I'd had a mini stroke and I was like, enough is enough. And I was like, Rachel's still the only person I heard of. And even now when I was going back, I mean, there'd be no question I'd reach out to you anyway when I wanted to do it again. We meshed well, I can talk to you. But I was like, when my daughter said, well, who are you going to talk to? I was like, well, Rachel. And she's like, oh, is there anyone else? I'm like, that's when I started thinking, like, I guess, like, I have no idea. Like, it never dawned on me until she asked that. Like, who are you going to reach out to? I was like, well, obviously Rachel. But then when my head clicked, I'm like, oh, even if I didn't want to, I don't know who else there is, Thankfully, I do like you. I'm a weirdo anyway, so I'm proud of that weird. You're proud of being weird. It's, not everybody's that is for me.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the good things in this business too, is that we don't have to pretend to be anything other than us. And I like that part of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're showing your kids the real you.
All right. Do we have anything else that you can think of? If there's something else that you think of or anybody else thinks of, don't hesitate to ask. It's our job to give you all of the answers that you need to make an informed decision about whether this is right for you. It's never our job to convince you that this is something that you absolutely need in your life. It's our job to show you what can happen and the potential that's behind this business, because it has been absolutely life-changing for me in the past 3 years.
100%. Yeah.
I've taken this week kind of as a sign, because you and I have talked about the coaching thing. I was like, oh, maybe as a discount coach. And I said to my partner a couple of days ago, I'm like, maybe I could really do it like Rachel. Maybe I could sign up as a discount coach. I could put some feelers out, just kind of advertise it on my Facebook, see what happens. And then you posted this, that you're doing this, all within like 48 hours. So I'm like, maybe it's my time. Maybe it's fate. So I didn't say anything to Dale. I didn't say I was doing this tonight. And then at like 6:30 this evening, I'm like, oh, in an hour and a half, I have a call. And he's like, oh, what's this for? Because we did the ones last week.
Yes.
And I said, oh, it's a coach. He's like, oh, are you still thinking of signing up? Did you like put out a message to have a talk? Are you just sitting in? I was like, no, it's just all coincidence that everything happened at the same time.
Everything.
The universe
happens
aligned.
for a reason.
Right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
What's your, like, what would be your recommendation if so, like back to if someone was starting tomorrow morning, how learning all the knowledge and how you started, any mistakes you probably made, I'm sure you made 100 not knowing what way to go. What would be your recommendation for a new coach to start out?
So every single team is different, and I don't know what Kira's team, I think you guys do the same as we do. So
We probably tell yours and then I will fill in tidbits.
Okay, so we do every single Sunday, we do a Getting Started Right call with Danielle and I, so my mentor and myself. We do a call every single Sunday night, and we share different topics every Sunday for 1 month, and then we recycle them over. All of those are recorded for people if they want to go back and listen to them, if they want to, whatever. I also have all of my individual coaches that are underneath me, working underneath me in a message pod. And I share things with them every single day. If there's new things happening, if there's new trainings, if there's goal setting, if there's whatever. And I have a new coach document that lists out everything that you can possibly need to know about hitting the ground running and getting started with your business. And then I'm there every single step of the way. And everything changes in this business. Social media could change tomorrow, and I might have to learn the whole new thing. Like, we have bod groups coming this weekend, and I have to learn a whole new platform for all of our programs. So things change constantly. So we're always learning. Think of it as on-the-job training. You're kind of learning as you go.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what I do for a living, train people from my home, and it's every week could be different how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are also very similar on my team. So we have training units that I will tag everyone in who is a new coach, and I will ask them to complete that. They will underneath that just say that they're done, tag me in it so I know it's done. Right when that's done, we'll have a coach call, and it'll be a one-to-one with myself. Sometimes it's with my upline. It just depends on what's going on. And then we'll talk goals, what you want to accomplish, what your goal is for that month. And then we'll set a goal for that month 2, and then that first quarter. So for a full 3 months. I check in with my coaches for the first week every day. We just started doing coach pods like Rachel has. So I have a new pod once you advance from that. So different levels, then you move out of that pod into the next pod. Always keeping everyone updated on when calls are happening, if there's new trainings that need to be done. So it's very similar to how Rachel does her team as well. Yeah.
And Beachbody has a phenomenal training that they've put together in our back office as well. That has, she's yelling at the dog, sorry. Has put together with some of the top coaches in the network, and they touch on pretty much every single topic, and you have access to that as well right as soon as you get started. So it's a self-guided one if you want to choose to go that route, and then we have the personalized one.
And I always make sure that all of my coaches have a direct contact to me. So if, say, they're sitting down to do a power hour with some other girls and have questions, like, and they need a question answered like almost immediately, like they have my contact, they can send me a text message, and they know that I am pretty good at getting back to them right away. If I don't, then I'm normally at work, but I'll get back to them in between clients. So yeah.
And we do have one big team page, which is underneath the people that are above us, basically. And at any point in time you have a question or a concern or an issue or whatever, you can post in that group, and somebody somewhere is going to be able to answer that for you, because there's like hundreds of us in there.
Right.
Yeah. And that's it. We don't do anything by ourselves.
Right.
It really is a we thing, not a me thing. And we say that all the time, but it's so, so true.
Our conference this year that was unfortunately canceled, stinking virus, but anyway, the theme for this year was Better Together. And that's 100% our company's motto and our team's motto, is that every single one of us is better as a team and better working together.
I 100% agree. Yeah. And it's really sad, but there are lots of events that will still be happening in future. And if you all join us, you'll be able to get those too.
And if that's everything, I think we will let you guys go. It's been half an hour approximately. If there's any other questions, reach out to whoever added you to the coaching opportunity link. If there's anybody that you want to share it with, feel free to add them to the group. The information's going to stay there. We're not going to delete it. Once this call is saved on my computer, I will upload it into that group as well. And we'll do the draws and post the winners from that tomorrow. Because I'm going to go watch a movie with the kids.
Sounds good.
All
Well,
right.
thank you both for joining us. And thank you to everyone else who decides to watch this.
Thanks, ladies.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.